I was holding my husband's phone at 2:07 in the morning when I saw it. He'd left it on the bathroom counter after stumbling and drunk from what he called a work dinner, and it kept buzzing. I wasn't trying to snoop. I was trying to silence it so our 6-year-old daughter wouldn't wake up. But when I picked it up, the screen was already unlocked, stuck on his Uber app. And there, filling the entire history tab, were dozens and dozens of rides, all to the same address, all labeled the same way. Visiting real daughter. My hands went numb. The phone nearly slipped from my grip. I sat down on the edge of the bathtub because my legs wouldn't hold me anymore. 87 rides. I scrolled and scrolled. They went back 2 years. Some were during work hours. Some were at night. Some were on weekends when he told me he was golfing or at the gym or meeting clients. Real daughter. I looked at the bathroom door, heard him snoring in our bed just beyond it, and felt something inside me crack open like ice on a frozen lake. Because we had a daughter. One daughter.
Emma.
The little girl sleeping down the hall with her stuffed bunny tucked under her chin. The daughter he read bedtime stories to every single night. The daughter whose artwork covered our fridge. So who the hell was the real one? I opened the address. It was in a neighborhood 40 minutes away. I didn't recognize it. I pulled up Google Maps and dropped a pin. A modest apartment complex with beige siding and a shared parking lot. Nothing special. Nothing that explained why my husband of 8 years had been going there regularly for 2 years without ever mentioning it to me. I scrolled further. The earliest ride was dated exactly 1 week after our 7th wedding anniversary. We'd gone to that Italian restaurant we loved. He'd held my hand across the table and told me I was the best thing that ever happened to him. And then, 7 days later, he'd taken his first Uber to see someone he was calling his real daughter. My chest felt tight. My throat closed. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw the phone against the wall. But instead, I just sat there in the cold bathroom light, staring at those 2 words over and over until they stopped looking like language and started looking like a death sentence. Real daughter. Real daughter. Real daughter. Because if Emma wasn't real to him, then what did that make me? I didn't sleep that night. I sat in the bathroom until 4 in the morning, scrolling through every ride, every timestamp, every label. I memorized the address. I took screenshots. I deleted the evidence of my snooping from his notifications. And then I crawled back into bed next to him and lay there, staring at the ceiling, listening to him breathe like he hadn't just destroyed my entire world. When morning came, he acted completely normal. He kissed Emma's forehead. He made coffee. He asked if I wanted scrambled or fried eggs. I said scrambled. I couldn't even taste them. He left for work at 8. I waited until his car disappeared down the street. Then I opened my laptop. I'd been with Daniel since I was 23. We met at a mutual friend's barbecue. He was charming, funny, stable. He had a good job in sales, a clean apartment, and he didn't play games. 6 months later, we moved in together. A year after that, he proposed on a hiking trail at sunset. It was perfect. He was perfect. We got married when I was 25. Emma came 2 years later. Daniel was overjoyed. He cried when she was born. He took paternity leave. He changed diapers at 3 in the morning without complaint. He was the dad every woman dreams of having for her kids. Or so I thought. Now I was sitting at my kitchen table, staring at that address on my screen, and realizing I didn't know him at all. I plugged the address into Facebook. Nothing. I tried Instagram. Nothing. I tried LinkedIn, Twitter, even TikTok. The apartment complex had no identifying details online. It was just a building. Invisible. So I did the only thing I could think of. I got in my car, dropped Emma at preschool, and I drove there. It took 43 minutes. The whole way, my hands shook on the steering wheel. I kept replaying his face in my mind. The way he smiled at Emma. The way he touched my waist when he passed me in the kitchen. The way he said I love you every single night before bed. Had it all been a lie? The apartment complex looked exactly like it did in the photos.
Pish. Blonde.
Forgettable. I parked across the street and stared at the building for 20 minutes, waiting for something to happen. Waiting for someone to come out. Waiting for her, whoever she was, to show herself. And then the door to Unit 12B opened. A woman stepped out. She was probably in her late 30s, dark hair pulled into a ponytail, wearing yoga pants and a sweatshirt. She looked tired. She looked ordinary. She locked the door behind her, walked to a car in the lot, and drove away. I sat there, frozen. Was that her? Was that the mother of Daniel's real daughter? I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to feel. So I went home. That night, Daniel came back from work with flowers. Roses. My favorite. He kissed me and said he'd had a good day. He played with Emma. He helped her build a Lego tower. He laughed when she knocked it over. And I smiled. I played along, because I didn't know what else to do. But after Emma went to bed, after Daniel fell asleep, I grabbed his phone again. This time, I went through his messages. And that's when I found her name. Lily. The messages were sparse. Businesslike, almost. But they were there. I'll be there Thursday around 6. Can you send me a picture of her? I miss her face. Tell her I'm sorry I couldn't make it last week. Every message was about someone. A her. And every message confirmed what I already knew, but couldn't accept. Daniel had another daughter. I felt like I was going to be sick. I locked myself in the bathroom and sat on the floor, holding his phone, scrolling through months of messages. There were photos. A little girl with dark curls and Daniel's eyes. She looked about 8 or 9. She was smiling in most of them, holding a drawing, sitting on a couch.
Veringa birthday hot.
Her name was Mia, and Daniel had been seeing her regularly for 2 years. I didn't confront him that night. I couldn't, because I didn't know what this meant yet. I didn't know if this was an affair, a secret child from a previous relationship, or something worse. I needed answers before I exploded. So the next day, I hired a private investigator. Her name was Rachel. She was in her 50s, no nonsense, and she didn't ask questions I didn't want to answer. I gave her the address, the woman's name, and Daniel's information. She said she'd have something for me in a week. It took 4 days. Rachel called me on a Tuesday afternoon. I was folding laundry in the living room when my phone rang. I answered on the first ring. She didn't waste time. Your husband has been visiting his biological daughter from a previous relationship. The mother's name is Lily Chin. They were together for 3 years before you met him. The child, Mia, is 9 years old. Daniel pays informal child support, cash, no legal agreement. He's been involved in her life inconsistently, but more regularly over the past 2 years. I couldn't breathe. Does his daughter know about me? I asked. There was a pause.
No.
Lily has kept you and Emma a secret from Mia. As far as the child knows, Daniel is her father who visits when he can. She doesn't know he has another family. I hung up. I sat on the couch, surrounded by tiny folded shirts and leggings, and I felt my entire life collapse. Daniel had lied to me for 8 years. He'd never mentioned Lily. He'd never mentioned Mia. He'd built an entire second life, and I'd been completely oblivious. That night, I confronted him. I waited until Emma was asleep. I poured myself a glass of wine. I sat across from him at the kitchen table, and I put his phone between us. Who is Mia? His face went white.
He didn't try to deny it.
He didn't scramble for an excuse. He just sat there, staring at me, and then he put his head in his hands. I'm sorry, he said. And I lost it. I screamed. I cried. I threw the wine glass against the wall. I told him he was a liar, a coward, a fraud. I told him he destroyed everything. He kept saying he was sorry. He kept saying he didn't know how to tell me. He kept saying it wasn't what I thought. But it was exactly what I thought. He'd had a daughter before me. He'd left Lily when Mia was a baby. He'd walked away. But 2 years ago, Lily had reached out. She'd told him Mia was asking about him, and he'd started seeing her. Why didn't you tell me? I sobbed. He looked at me with red, exhausted eyes. Because I was ashamed. Because I didn't want you to see me as the guy who abandoned his kid. Because I thought I could fix it quietly. I laughed. It was bitter and sharp. Quietly? You labeled every ride, visiting real daughter. You think that's quiet. He flinched. I didn't mean it like that. Emma is my daughter. I love her. Mia needed me, and I didn't know how to tell you I'd been a deadbeat before I met you. But I couldn't hear him anymore, because all I could think about was Emma, my baby, the little girl who thought her daddy hung the moon. And the fact that he'd been calling someone else real that I made Daniel leave that night. He packed a bag. He went to a hotel. I told him not to come back until I decided what I wanted. He begged.
He cried.
He promised he'd fix it, but I shut the door in his face. The next few weeks were hell. Emma kept asking where Daddy was. I told her he was working. I couldn't tell her the truth.
Not yet.
Maybe not ever. I spent every night scrolling through those messages, those photos, those rides. I tortured myself. I looked at pictures of Mia and saw Daniel's face in hers. I wondered what she was like. I wondered if she was funny or shy or loud like Emma. And then one night, I did something I probably shouldn't have. I drove to Lily's apartment. I parked across the street. I waited. And when I saw her come outside with Mia, I got out of my car and I walked up to them. Lily recognized me immediately. I don't know how, but she did. Her face went pale. "You're her," she said. I nodded. Mia looked between us, confused. Lily told her to go wait in the car. The little girl obeyed. And then Lily and I stood there, two women bound by the same man, staring at each other in a parking lot. "I didn't know about you," I said. "Not until a month ago." She nodded slowly. "He told me about you 2 years ago, when I asked him to be in Mia's life again. Did you know he was calling her his real daughter?" Her face crumpled.
No. God, no.
"I would never." She stopped. She looked at Mia in the car, then back at me. "He told me he wanted to make things right, that he regretted leaving. I thought he was trying to be a good father." "He is," I said quietly, "to my daughter, to yours. But he lied to both of us." We stood there in silence. And then Lily said something I'll never forget. "Mia asked me last week if her dad has other kids. I told her no, but she didn't believe me. She said he smells like baby shampoo sometimes." My throat tightened, because Emma used the same shampoo. I went home that night, and I cried until I couldn't anymore. I thought about Daniel, about the man I'd married, about the father I'd thought he was. And I realized he wasn't a villain. He wasn't a hero. He was just broken. And he tried to fix himself by splitting his life in half. But you can't build a family on lies. I filed for divorce 3 weeks later. Daniel didn't fight it. He moved out permanently. We worked out custody. Emma sees him every other weekend. And I made him promise one thing, that he'd tell Mia the truth.
He did.
Last month, Lily called me afterward. She said Mia cried. But she also said Mia wanted to meet Emma someday. I don't know if I'm ready for that. I don't know if I'll ever be. But I do know this. Emma is real. Mia is real. And no label on a stupid Uber ride will ever change that. If you're still listening, thank you for hearing my story. Sometimes the hardest part of betrayal isn't the lie. It's realizing the person you loved was just trying to be two people at once and failed at both. If this resonated with you, I'd really appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe. Sharing your story, even anonymously, can help someone else feel less alone. Take care of yourself. I still think about that night, about holding his phone at 2:07 a.m., about seeing those two words. And I wonder if he ever realized that the moment he called one daughter real, he made the other one feel invisible. That's the thing about secrets. They don't just hurt the people you keep them from. They hurt everyone, even the ones you're trying to protect. More stories are waiting under the telling tree. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and come back for the next one.